Shalom Aleichem. Let's speak today about what should one do when a bug walks into the house. An insect, for instance, is ants coming into the house, mosquitoes, flies, cockroaches. They're much more relevant in the summer days where outside it's so hot and they want to come in to look for cooler places. Also one that is in the country, it's much more relevant for them that there are all kind of insects coming into the house and they bother the Shabbat pleasure. You have to differentiate over here between a dead bug and a live bug, because when a bug is dead, it's only muktzeh, and if it's in a place that's disturbing your Shabbat, it's not pleasure to sit around a place that you have on the floor a dead bug. It's considered graf shel ritz. It's a disgusting thing. The one is allowed to remove it and throw it away. That is when it's dead already. Then there's no issue of trapping and there's no issue of killing. But when it's alive, then you have two prohibitions, two isurim. One is trapping, tzad, and one is killing. And both should be applied to anything that's alive, unless we're dealing with a dangerous bug. Let's say, for instance, a person sees a spider that is dangerous, like the black widow, or is allergic to bees and it could come to danger. Then when you have something that has a potential danger, you're allowed to kill it, even if it's not in a threatening place right now, because there is a potential danger. You're allowed to kill it or do whatever's needed to remove the danger. But if we're talking about regular bugs that are just disgusting, let's say a cockroach that walks into the house, let's say a spider that's in the house walking around the floor, a mosquito that's buzzing around and it's definitely disturbing, one is not allowed to trap it, one is not allowed to kill it, unless the mosquito is already on the body. If it's on the body, even before it's biting, one is allowed to trap it without killing it and throw it away out of the house or whatever's needed in order to remove. But before it's starting to bite, or before it's on the body, it's just buzzing around and it's disturbing, one is not allowed to trap it, definitely not allowed to kill it. Although trapping such a thing would not be deoraita, because en bemino nitzod, it's not normally something that people trap. A bug or a animal that is prohibited from trapping is an animal that usually people trap in order to use it for its leather or for other things. They have a use out of it, not just to remove it out of the place, but still it's a isur derabanan. Even if you have a bug, let's say, that is half dying, let's say you sprayed the house before Shabbat and now a mosquito came into the house or a cockroach came into the house and you see that it's like dizzy already and it's getting ready to die, but it's not dead yet, you're not allowed to trap it. Why not? Because such a thing, yesh beminon, such a thing normally is not allowed to be nitzod, and therefore, although en bemino nitzod, but it's not allowed midirabanan to trap it, so this is considered chole. That's how the halacha brings it down in Shin Tet Zayin, Shulchan Aruch. That's a chole, sick animal, or in our case, a sick bug, which is on the way to die, but it's not dead yet. You're not allowed to trap it. You have to wait till it dies, and then you can remove it. Some permit in times that you have something that is extremely disgusting. Mishnah Berurah brings such an idea down, that there is a tzorech gadol, really having, let's say, a cockroach is something that people can't stand. It's really disgusting. Or let's say there's a mice in a house that's really disgusting. So then some would permit to trap it and throw it out, but not kill it, in order to remove this thing. It's really disturbing the Shabbat feeling, the Shabbat pleasure, the Shabbat atmosphere. So some would permit to remove it. Same thing would be that if for Sfaradim that are permitted according to strict halacha to go into a pool on Shabbat, a pool that is under, it's not heated, or it's heated but under the body's temperature, and it wasn't heated at all on Shabbat, it's from before Shabbat, so then there is no restriction like Ashkenazim. They don't go inside water, even cold water, on Shabbat. That's the minhag, unless there's a great need, a person does istanis. Then Rabbi Akiva Eiger permits, he said, and the Biur Halacha brings us down in the beginning of Shin Kaf Vav, and just to all he permits is just to wash off the sweat and so on. But Sfaradim are permitted to go into the water. Some are machmir not to go for the same ideas that the Ashkenazim are restricted, but mikar adin, it is permitted to go into a pool on Shabbat as long as it wasn't heated on Shabbat, and as long as it's not heated to even from before Shabbat to the body temperature, which is usually very high, and that's not the case. So one that is a Sfaradi goes into a cool pool on Shabbat. Many times on the pool you have all kind of insects that were collected in the water, sometimes even frogs, depends where a person lives. So then it's disturbing. You need to know, same idea. If it's dead, then you're allowed to take the net and throw it out. You want to swim in clean water. But if it's alive, you see a frog that's swimming in the water. So since you're not allowed to trap such a frog outside the water, even now that it's inside the water, you're not allowed to trap it. Although inside the water it's very easy to take the net and trap it and catch it, but outside the water would be harder. You would have to kind of run after it and not so easily being able to trap it in one time, and therefore such a thing should be restricted. Definitely one is not allowed to kill all those things.